Hello, this video has been recorded to show how to create a roller V tool inside of RADBEND. So there are a couple of steps to doing this. First, we'll need some information. Some of this information will probably come from the controller, because on most controllers you will have to trick the controller into using the roller V tool. So the tool manufacturer may have gave you a V opening and an angle to set on the controller so you could use this tool, and we will need to use a specific angle and a specific V opening for the tool that has been applied. So here I'm in 2D CAD inside of RADAN. I'm going to open up my DXF, and you can see I have a model here called 603070 WT model. So I'm just going to open this model, and this is American tool, so this one this is already in inches. So if I measure this, you can see I'm in inches here. So what I will need to do is scale this so I can turn it from imperial to metric. So the easiest way to do this inside of RADAN is come here to window scale, and I'm going to type in 25.4 in the X and 25.4 in the Y. I'm going to indicate the scale point, so I'm just going to click on the left hand side of the tool here, and then I'm going to drag a window around. This here should have scaled my tool. So if I measure this again, the working height of my tool is actually 70 millimeters. Okay, in order for this tool to work, I need to find the center point. Now the center point is not from here to here. The center point is actually going to be on top of these two rollers. So if I come in here and hit the text, you can see I've got center in here from where I last made a modification to one of my tools. So I'm going to change this to 0.1. Actually, let's go a bit, 0.5. And I'm going to use find bisection point. Using the bisection point, I'm going to select this guy and this guy, and that is place the word center on the center of my tool. Now with that all said and done, I now need to remove these rollers from my drawing, because it all needs to be one profile inside of RADBEND. So I'm going to use partially delete, and I'm going to start deleting some of these lines from my drawing. You'll notice that I have still left the center in there, because we will need that. That defines the center of our tool. Now you can see that my tool has been saved, completed here. I'm going to save it, File, Save Drawing, and I'm going to rename it DXF, and I'm just going to override one I've done earlier. Yes. Now that part of it is done. So if I go to my RADBEND, I can select the machine I'm working with, and then I can now go Tools, Option, actually go to Start Tool Editor, and I can pull it up, and you can see that I've already entered this information in. So here I've given it a name, I've called it a standard die, and whatever bottom I am using at the time to clamp my tool. You can also see I've got a V width, and I've got an angle that I'm using. These two here are ones that I pulled off my controller, so you would have to double check these on your end. You can see I've put a force in here, or tonnage. This is something you will have to check. okay, because I'm only using an example only. And when I hit save and created this tool, you can see that I get a nice perfect profile of my roller V tool. So now I can just come in and add segments to my tool. So I would want to give it a name. 63070 WT G2. Oops, let me go back here. WT G2. Now I'll give it a length. So I'm going to go with 515 millimeters. And I'm going to say that part is available. 515 is around 20 inches, and save. Now I have a tool that I can now use. So now when you select your tools, I should be able to see my die in here, and I can now pull it in. Now before we created the DXF for your tools actually needs to go into the Data Tool Geometry folder. You can see if I go sort by date modified, you'll see I have my DXF which I put in here. Thank you.